I'm Brian Ladd with the Ladd Group at Cascade Sotheby's. It's been a wild couple of years in real estate with the pandemic and now the economic disruption and looming recession, and that's what we're here to talk about today. We're going to digest the data and give you a full market report on what's happening in real estate, and then a few tips on how to operate as a buyer or a seller in this market. Median sales price is up to $715,000. That's up 14% year over year. That's a softening of some of the appreciation that we saw during the early pandemic, where we saw year over year appreciation of 20, 25, and even 30%. This is a return to normalcy and a softening of that incredible run that we had during the pandemic. But median sales price is lagging data. What that shows is what homes were selling for 2 to 3 months ago when they went under contract. Let's talk about a leading indicator to get some clarity and insight on where the market's going, and we can talk about that with inventory. And inventory is really a head scratcher. It's a conundrum in this market because inventory is generally what pushes prices down when it grows. When you have 6 months, 12 months of inventory and homes take longer to sell, that's generally when sellers start reducing prices. But here we sit at a measly 2.5 months of inventory. Last year was low and we're still 11% lower than that. And we're at about 20% of the average inventory that we've had the last decade. So what that tells us is there's going to be downside resistance to any economic disruptions we have because we simply have a historic housing shortage. And next, let's talk interest rates. We currently stand at 5.8% for a 30-year loan, and that's up a whopping 93% over the 3% loan that we had just over a year ago. This has definitely thinned buyer demand and has made housing unaffordable for quite a few. That said, in a historical perspective, that interest rate is not that bad and is shy of the 7 to 8%, which is the historical average that we've had the last 4 or 5 decades. And lastly, this really comes together in pending sales. Pending sales are showing where we're going, and let's look at that. Right now, we stand at a rolling average of 4,452 sales, and that's down a little bit. It's down 4% from last year, but it's still up about 20% over 2017, 18, and 19, which we're all seeing as very normal, very robust years in real estate here in Bend. So really, how does this all come together for you? Well, the headlines are scary, but the data is more nuanced. What this is showing is that we're seeing a softening in the market, a return to normalcy after a couple years of unprecedented sales activity. However, there are ways you can be proactive in this market, and I'm going to give you 3 tips as a buyer or a seller on how to be successful. For our buyers, know where the value of homes lie and what you're willing to spend. Some homes are still overpriced, others are spot on and getting multiple offers. There is opportunity in this market, but you need to know what type of home you're going for and what you believe the inherent value is. Second, know what your financing opportunities and options are. There's a lot of interesting products out there, from loan buy downs, credits, or even seller carry. And this is something you need to discuss with both your agent and your financial advisor because there's different and interesting ways to secure financing in this market. And third, timing a market is impossible. Let's not get myopically focused on any one thing, whether that be a purchase price or an interest rate or the countertop color. Let's take a step back, remember why you're involved in real estate, what it means in your life, and how it can be a successful part of your financial picture. And for our sellers, every home has a story to tell, and over the last few years, sellers and agents alike have become sloppy and complacent in how they're presenting the home to the market. Now more than ever, a robust marketing plan, sharp collateral, video, photography, and a home that has been touched up and ready for market makes the difference. And number 2, have a strategy in place that goes beyond trying to perfectly time the market for the absolute maximum sales price. Let's look at your overall strategy, see where you want to be, and look at lending options, housing options, and really refer back to why you own that home in the first place. And number 3, well-priced and well-marketed homes are still selling, and they're selling quickly. There's still a lot of buyer demands out there. The millennial generation is really entering that home buying era of their lives, and there's still buyer demand, but you've got to be spot on with the price, as we've seen a normalization and a balance in power between buyers and sellers in this market. You can be successful, you can make sound and wise decisions in this real estate market. We at the Ladd Group are honored to help, and we look forward to serving you in the future.